My name is Saren Blake. I grew up in a house that looked like a magazine ad, trimmed hedges, matching brick, a front porch swing that never squeaked. People driving by probably thought we were perfect, but perfection is the best disguise for rot. From as early as I can remember, I knew my place in the Blake family hierarchy. At the top, there was Jason, my older brother. Golden-haired, blue-eyed, straight-A student and football star. He could do no wrong. Then came my parents. Karen and Richard Blake, pillars of the community, hosts of fundraisers, always smiling too wide at church potlucks, and then me, the second child. The mistake they stopped mentioning. I wasn't rebellious, just invisible. They didn't scream at me, didn't beat me, no, that would have left marks. They simply didn't see me unless they needed someone to blame. When Jason screwed up, or when their image needed polishing, I learned to blend in. I stopped asking for things, clothes, school supplies, attention. I became good at being small. At pretending I didn't notice when Jason borrowed money from my wallet or when my mother signed me up for therapy because I was too quiet and made guests uncomfortable. But even then, I had my grandfather. Grandpa Bill was different. My mom's father. He wasn't flashy. He wore the same brown cardigan every holiday and smelled like tobacco and peppermint. But when he looked at me, he really looked like he saw something in me my parents didn't want to acknowledge. He'd slip me books under the table at Christmas, biographies, novels, maps. He told me once, "Your voice is in there, Saren. You just haven't had a reason to use it yet." He died when I was 16. A heart attack in his sleep. Peaceful, they said. But nothing about his death felt peaceful to me. It was like the last safe room in my life had been bricked shut. I cried at the funeral. My brother got a trophy from the pulpit in the form of a long-winded eulogy about how much Grandpa loved him. My mother dabbed her dry eyes with a tissue. My father checked his watch. No one asked how I was doing, not that day. Not ever. 2 years later, I turned 18 and started college. A week into the semester, I received a thin envelope in the campus mailbox. Inside was a letter from a law firm, Kellerman and Ames, stating that William Blake had left a trust fund in my name. $850,000. Held in my name since my 16th birthday, to be released when I turned 18. Except I'd never heard a word about it. Confused, I called the firm. A woman named Jenna answered. When I gave her my name, there was a long silence on the line. Then she said, "Saren, we've been trying to reach you for 2 years. Your father told us you declined the inheritance." My blood ran cold. "Excuse me?" I asked. "Your father said you were unstable," she continued carefully. "He claimed you wanted nothing to do with the money or the family." We were skeptical, but he presented paperwork. We assumed it was legitimate. I didn't yell. I didn't even cry. I just asked for every document, every email, every forged signature. And when I saw them, the false contact info, the fake forms, the false statements, I realized the truth. They stole it. He stole it. Lied to the lawyers. Lied to me. Covered up a gift that could have changed my entire life, from the only person who ever saw me. I hung up and sat there in silence for what felt like hours. The walls around me felt like they were closing in, but something inside me had never been clearer. They thought I wouldn't fight back. They were wrong. The first thing I did was find an attorney, Lena Sharp, a probate lawyer with a reputation for clawing inheritance theft apart like a lion. I told her everything. Showed her the forged papers. She didn't hesitate. "We'll get your trust," she said. And maybe, a little more. While Lena filed claims and dug into the financials, I started doing something I'd never done before. I watched them. Jason's life was all over the internet. Instagram perfect. His fiancée, Harper, was the kind of woman who curated every breakfast like it was a Vogue shoot. I made a fake account and followed them quietly. Within weeks, I knew everything: their gym, their new condo, the boutique where Harper bought overpriced candles. It wasn't just petty curiosity. I was looking for cracks, and they were there. Jason was working at a firm that handled mid-level investments, basically rich people laundering their egos through stocks. But his smile in photos was too tight. I dug deeper. Turns out, there were whispers online about his firm mishandling funds. Not outright fraud, but something slimy. One anonymous Reddit post mentioned a Jason B. doctoring small investor reports. Interesting. I saved everything. Meanwhile, my parents continued their charade. My father ran charity boards. My mother Posted Facebook quotes about gratitude and family values. Neither mentioned me. I'd vanished from their world completely. It was as if I never existed, but now I was their shadow. When Lena filed the court petition, things moved fast. The law firm that handled Grandpa's estate sent notice to my father. His response was immediate and weak. A denial. A claim that I was lying. That I was mentally unwell. But this time, I wasn't a voiceless child. I had evidence: emails, signatures, voice messages he didn't know had been archived. Lena sent everything. The court ordered a hearing. He tried calling me. I let it ring, then I went further. I created a package, a digital one, and sent it anonymously to a journalist who had covered estate fraud before. Inside were all the forged documents, the timeline, and a quiet mention of Jason's firm. A little breadcrumb trail, she bit. Within 2 weeks, an article was published. Not naming them directly, but close enough. Local heiress denied inheritance by family, questions raised about wealth mismanagement. The photo was of Grandpa Bill, smiling in that cardigan. My name wasn't in the article. But anyone who knew us could connect the dots. My parents panicked. Karen tried to post a family photo to show unity. It flopped. The comments were brutal. People asking about the article. Asking about me. Wondering why I hadn't been seen. In years. My father issued a denial. His board meetings grew tense. Sponsors started pulling out. I wasn't done. Jason's fiancée posted about their engagement party. I paid someone to film it, nothing suspicious, just a photographer blending in. He caught Jason shouting at Harper behind a hedge after a toast. Caught him calling her stupid. Grabbing her arm. I leaked it, the internet did the rest. Harper left him, his firm suspended him. He tried blaming me, but no one listened. Not even my parents, who were now under financial investigation for misappropriating estate assets, and finally, the court date arrived. I walked into that courtroom wearing the black dress my mother once told me was too ambitious for me. Lena was beside me, calm and lethal. My father was pale. My mother looked like she hadn't slept. Jason didn't show. We presented everything, the judge didn't take long. The trust was reinstated. My name was cleared. My father was fined. The matter was closed, legally, but not emotionally. After the hearing, my father approached me in the hallway. "Saren," he said, soft and pitiful. "We're still family." I looked him in the eye and said the first honest words I'd spoken to him in a decade: "No. You're just people who share my last name." I walked away. Outside the courthouse, the sun was bright. Almost too bright. I remember standing on the sidewalk, watching people pass, cars hum by, and realizing that for the first time in my life, I wasn't angry. I was free. I didn't post about it. Didn't brag or gloat. I simply moved forward. With the trust fund finally mine, I didn't splurge on revenge money fantasies. No luxury cars. No designer clothes. Instead, I invested smartly, just like Grandpa would have wanted. I bought a small place near the coast, enrolled in a master's program in data security, and kept building. Revenge wasn't just about watching them fall. It was about making sure I rose. 6 months later, Jason tried to contact me. He'd lost his job, of course. No firm would touch him after the leaked video and the financial irregularities made public. Word spread quickly, not because I pushed it, but because people like him couldn't survive without control. And when it slips, they unravel. His message was pathetic. "Hey, I know you probably hate me. But I just wanted to talk. I think we both suffered here. Maybe we can start over?" I deleted it. A week after that, my mother emailed me, just a single line. "Are you happy now?" It was the only time she ever acknowledged what they did, but I didn't respond, not because I wasn't tempted. Not because I didn't rehearse replies in my head. But because I finally understood what they had feared most: not my anger. Not exposure, but silence. They had erased me from their world so thoroughly, so confidently, that they believed I'd stay gone. That I'd stay small. Stay quiet, but I didn't, and now they had to live with the echo of my silence, the unanswered calls, the empty chairs at holidays, the quiet dignity of a daughter who refused to play the part they wrote for her. That was my revenge, not just the court win, not the public shame, but the fact that I chose peace over them. Years passed. I didn't need to check in on them. People told me bits and pieces, friends from the old neighborhood, distant cousins who messaged me awkwardly after seeing the article. My father lost his seat on the charity board. Jason moved to another city, working under an alias for a fraction of his old salary. My mother, last I heard, took up a new hobby painting portraits of happy families. The irony wasn't lost on May. Visited Grandpa's grave once a year, brought him books, sat there in the quiet and just talked. Told him I kept my promise. That I found my voice and that it was sharp, steady, and absolutely unshakable. They tried to bury me in silence. They forgot that silence is where stars are born, and I became a galaxy they can never darken again.